Hey everybody, my name is Zach. I'm new to this, so bear with me. I'm off script, but hopefully this will help somebody out because I had to kind of do some investigation and go on some forums for the problem that I've been having with my Jeep Wrangler X. It's a 2003, and so basically my problem was I couldn't get power to my head unit, aka my stereo system, when it's in drive and running. But the funny thing is when I put it in auxiliary, so turning the key back towards me, the radio would work. So after doing some research, kind of looked in and checked the fuses, checked the battery level, everything like that. Kind of the easy kind of fixes. I kind of dug in a little bit deeper. I kind of was hoping to find a quick easy fix for it, but so far I've got about 2 hours of work into it. And a lot of that was kind of just fielding questions, going on forums and things like that. But actually pulling the Jeep apart a little bit, it hasn't really taken me that long. But so anyway, the previous owner had said that he had changed out the ignition switch because it broke off and he was unable to start the Jeep. And ever since then, he's had trouble with the radio, sorry, and he just never got around to fixing it. And well, I like to have tunes when I ride, so best believe I gotta fix it. So after investigating for a while and going on some Jeep forums, my main one was jeepforum.com. It's been pretty helpful since I bought the Jeep to kind of pick out some, little things, some solutions. But anyway, luckily when I was cleaning out the Jeep when I bought it, I found this in the floorboard. So this right here is an ignition actuator. So basically this end goes into your ignition switch. The other end connects with the actual lock set. So what your key goes in, you crank it up to turn your car on. So anyway, a lot of people were saying on this forum that this little piece was bent. This one looks a little bit used up, but nothing major. The main reason he replaced this is because it cracked right there, as you can see, that metal. So that would cause your ignition not, to start your vehicle. So anyway, I decided to kind of get in here and kind of look what was going on. So you can see I've, taken out the bottom dash underneath of my steering wheel. I've loosened up my turn signals and windshield wipers. You're gonna have to do that in order to get your ignition actuator out. This right here is your ignition switch. Right here is where your key normally goes, but it's actually in a baggie right now with all the screws because I actually had to order a new ignition actuator. So today's the day I finally got it in and I'm ready to go. So today I've got the ignition actuator. I ordered a new one because the brass piece on the old one was gone, so I'm hoping that with getting a new one with the brass piece in here, and I'll pull that up for you, hopefully that'll make my fix and I'll have some radio, but bear with me. So right here is our new Dorman ignition actuator. Comes in a little box like this, and there's a spring in here, but basically it's all cleaned up. So my last one I was missing this brass piece and the spring that goes along with it. So if you've watched a couple of videos on how to replace this piece in your Jeep, they're going to tell you that the brass needs to be behind this flange on this plastic piece. And I believe the way that it works is that once you press your key in, the white piece and the flange moves forward, and also this brass piece will keep it in place, which would have your key and everything fully engaged so that power gets to your radio. So hopefully this new one will allow me to have radio. So let me install it. It's pretty simple. I'm not going to go into the detail on that, but hopefully by the end of this video I'll have a solution once I get it installed. If not, I'm going to be really mad, but it's okay. Life goes on. Alright guys, so I have put in the Dorman ignition actuator. You know, put it back together, you know, inserted it in. It's really tricky. Make sure that you get everything lined up. Kind of like the owner's manual says, if you end up buying a new one, make sure the brass piece is behind the white flange we were talking about, because that's what's going to keep it in. It's going to push that extra pin farther into that ignition switch to really get you what you want, which is the radio to work. I guess it sends a signal. The farther in that plastic piece goes, sends it to the vehicle and the battery to let you know that, hey, we're in the car, we're driving, we're running. So good news, after doing this, putting it all back together, the radio does work. So let's walk over here. So basically we've tied down the ignition switch here. This is the cover for the ignition actuator. It's spring loaded, so if you end up taking this off, be very careful. You want to hold it down as you bring out those screws. You're going to need a special secure Torx bit. I got mine at Harbor Freight, similar to another YouTuber. So after placing that in there, right here is your actual key slot. So you're going to want to line everything up. Make sure everything's good to go. And I haven't tightened these things down yet because I really just wanted to make sure that it works. But let's check it out. We've got radio, people. We've got radio. I'm so happy. All right. Well, it's time to kind of clean this thing up. Now, the ignition switch is a little stiff, but you got this lever here to kind of help with that, to get your key out. So kind of be gentle with it, I'm thinking, for a little while at least, until you're broke this thing in. But it's time for me to kind of move on to the next project. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, questions. I'd love to help. Hopefully this video kind of help somebody else that's in the same problem. It's a 2003 Jeep Wrangler TJ, and what I found online is there's a lot of 2003 TJs out there that have the same issue, but there's not any YouTube videos kind of diagnosing this. It's just you got to find it on forums. So hopefully this will help. Thanks for listening.